Reading Exodus chapter 25, verses 23 through 40, and we are going inside God's home. We are in the tabernacle that God is commanding Moses to make. Moses is up top of Mount Sinai. He has went into the cloud. He has went into the Lord's presence, and he's going to be there for 40 days, 40 nights, and God is commanding him to build the temple, to build the tabernacle, this transportable temple made out of tents. So now we're looking at two items within the temple. We're going to look at the table of God's presence, and we're going to look at the menorah, the lampstand. So the whole idea here is that these two items are for people. This is God's home, and he's a very hospitable guest, if you will. He's got light for you, and he's got food for you. He has sustenance for you. He's going to take care of you, and then he also has light so that you can see and come in. But there is going to be divided between this holy place where the table of showbread is, the table of God's presence, and the menorah, the lampstand is. There's a big curtain in between this holy place and the most holy place. So let's go down here. And here is a little picture of what this would look like. Just Google this and you'd see some of images like this. But here is the big curtain. So on the other side of that curtain would be the Holy of Holies. Notice, and you'll see descriptions as you read the descriptions of the temple, is that they have cherubim. They have angels embroidered in this big curtain. And so this is the big dividing wall between God's most holy presence, the Ark of the Covenant, his throne where he is, and where the priests would actually be. Only priests were going to be allowed inside the actual temple. And then only the high priest was allowed to go into the Holy of Holies, and that only once a year. So where we looked at the Ark of the Covenant, that would be on the other side of this great curtain. And then the two items we're going to be looking at is the table of the presence, the table of showbread, or the candlestick, the menorah. And then this is the altar of incense the priest would sacrifice on. We'll get to that when God is telling Moses to build that. So let's read. This is the table of bread. This is another image that it would look like as we read through. We find out in Leviticus that they are supposed to regularly put two stacks of bread. They're supposed to make bread and make these loaves, and they're supposed to stack them 6 and 6, making 12. Probably to signify the Israelites, the tribes, each of the 12 tribes of Israel, inviting them all to have a loaf of bread. God is providing for each and every one of them, just as he's providing for us. So let's look at the details of it. Hopefully having the image in your mind helps as we read through this. You shall make a table of acacia wood. 2 cubits shall be its length, a cubit its breadth, and a cubit and a half its height. You shall overlay it with pure gold. So notice just the extravagance of this item, a gold table in which you get to eat with the Lord, and make a molding of gold around it. You shall make a rim around it, a handbreadth wide, and a molding of gold around the rim. And you shall make for it 4 rings of gold, and fasten the rings to the 4 corners at its 4 legs. Remember, all of these pieces of furniture were to be transportable. You're going to stick a pole inside them and lift them and carry them, because this is a transportable temple. This is the tabernacle, and it's going to move from place to place. It won't have a permanent place until the temple is built by Solomon, and Solomon's temple is built, and then it has a permanent structure in place. Verse 27, close to the frame of the rings shall lie, get them close to the frame, as holders for the poles to carry the temple. You shall make the poles of acacia wood and overlay them with gold, extravagant. And the table shall be carried with these. And you shall make its plates and its dishes for incense, and its flagons and bowls with which to pour drink offerings. You shall make them of pure gold. So there's going to be utensils connected with this table as well. And you shall eat, or you shall set the bread of the presence on the table before me regularly. Remember, they're going to replace. They're not going to leave stale bread. They're going to bring it in and out. Again, God is a very hospitable God, taking care of each of this. So this is a symbol of showing God's provision for us, and the fact that we get to come into his presence, that we get to eat with him. God is making this possible for the Israelites to live with him, as he is going to build a house among them and he's going to dwell with them. So that is the table of showbread, or the table of the presence. Now let's look at the golden lampstand. Here's a picture of the menorah. It has 7 candles on which it will be. You'll notice that it looks also like a tree, and that was intentional, as the descriptions are. These are supposed to be looking like blossoms and going into the center part of the menorah. So this would be on the other side of the temple, bringing light. Jesus is the light of the world, and in him is the life that he gives to all people. So let's read about this lampstand. You shall make a lampstand of pure gold. Again, the extravagance of God's home. The lampstand shall be made of hammered work. Its base, its stem, its cups, its calyxes, and its flowers shall be of one piece with it. And there shall be 6 branches going out of its sides, 3 branches of the lampstand out of one side of it, and 3 branches of the lampstand out of the other side of it. 3 cups made like almond blossoms. See the almond blossoms at the top where the actual flame will be. Each with calyx and flower in one branch, and 3 cups made like almond blossoms, each with calyx and a flower on the other branch. So for the 6 branches going out of the lampstand. And on the lampstand itself there shall be 4 cups made like almond blossoms, with their calyxes and flowers, and a calyx of one piece with it under each pair of the 6 branches going out from the lampstand. I'm so glad people took these descriptions and they made pictures for us so that we could see what it looks like, because these descriptions are very detailed, but it's very hard to get your mind around it. I'm sure you are feeling that as I'm reading it. Verse 36, the calyxes and their branches shall be of one piece with it, the whole of it a single piece of hammered work of pure gold. Again, the extravagance of the furniture in God's home. You shall make 7 lamps for it, and the lamp shall be set up so as to give light on the space in front of it. Its tongs and their trains shall be of pure gold, and it shall be made with all these utensils out of a talent of pure gold. And see that you make them after the pattern for them, which is being shown you on the mountain. Again, the importance for Moses to make sure that the people are building the furniture pieces and building God's house exactly as it was shown to him, because this is indeed this physical temple in our space and time, in the time of the Israelites, is a picture of the heavenly temple. It's a picture of heaven itself, a picture of God's abode, of God's throne room, of his house in the heavenlies, the heavenly Jerusalem, or the heavenly city that we oftentimes talk about. You see it pictured in Revelation 21, the entire city coming down, and it's actually the same dimensions as the Holy of Holies as well. So realize that God has a home. It's an extravagant and wonderful home. And the Israelites, there were particular rules on who could go in. Not everybody could go in. Only the priest could go in, and not the regular Israelite could. But now we have the command to come boldly into the throne room of God because of Jesus Christ. In fact, let me scroll up here real quick. And remember this big old curtain that's between the holy place and the Holy of Holies, where the Ark of the Covenant is? When Jesus died on the cross, we're told in the book of Matthew that there's a great earthquake. And when that earthquake happened, this big curtain was torn right down the middle, showing that everybody could have access to the presence of the Lord. I pray that has been a blessing to you all, and I'll see you in the next video.